Greetings, everybody. Can you hear me okay? It's been 10 lifetimes since I've been here. Maybe it feels that way to you too, I don't know, but whew, yes. Thank you all so much for holding the space, holding the group, holding the practice, continuing to meet, and giving me this time to take care of other things, which mainly have included the book that I've been writing and working on and revising and working on for what seems like forever. But I have the great joy of letting you know that it's done. So I may have shared that with some of you before. I'm still working on details like footnotes and glossary and fact checking and getting approvals from a few people I've written about and things like that. But my part is really done and I feel really good about it. So I'm super excited to bring it forward, and that whole process is just a totally different phase. So I really needed this time to work on the writing, and I'm so eager to share it. I sat down to prepare myself to see you, and I thought, well, I'm going to read you the prologue. I would love to read you the prologue. I feel like it might take a little bit too much time. So if I'm in it and then I stop, it's just because we're not here to read my book together. We're here to practice. We're here to practice mindfulness and, turn the precious time that we have towards cultivating a practice that will hopefully see us through these times. So I'd like to at least start, right? I'll read you just a tiny little bit, and then I will go into what I want to talk about in terms of the practice today. But just to say again, thank you for those of you who came forward to hold the leadership of the group, Kendra, pretty much every time, I think, and holding the space, doing the tech, ringing the bells, keeping us on track. And then to all of you, many of you who are here today sitting with us in the circle, who have shared your stories and shared your own insights. They say in the Dharma, there's 84,000 Dharma doors, meaning countless ways into our understanding, our awakening, the insight, the path of awakening. And I feel like we each have, we are each a facet of that. We each have our own view. And some of us respond one way and some of us respond another way. And so to have a sense of who we are as a sangha, who we are as a community, and where we're coming from, and that we can honor and respect each of our gifts, each of our insights. There's not one right way. The Dharma teachings, the Buddhist teachings are truly beautiful and wonderful. And I can share those with you. But you can share things that I can't share, and together, as they say in Congo, together we are strong. Together we make up the whole, this incredible diverse web of life. So I celebrate that and I encourage it. Anyway, just to give you a little taste, and again, this is just the prologue, but I'm just dying to share a little bit. Okay, so here we go. This book is a remembering of places and times, a telling of stories I have lived through thick and thin, a meditation on the glorious web of life, and a prayer for healing, enacted over and over with each passing moon. At times I feel as if I have been living a myth, called as I was by the earth onto an unmarked path through diverse cultures and communities, dark forests and high mountain caves, riding ocean waves and braving winding roads. I have borne witness to the multifaceted web of life in all its beauty and sorrow. To walk this path, I have been broken open and brought to my knees. Groping along, I tentatively felt my way from an objectified woman of privilege to a servant of peace and healing in relationship to Mother Earth. Every step of this mythic journey has been an initiation into trusting what I cannot see, something so much larger than myself. And finally, it has been an awakening into living a relationship of interbeing with Earth herself. These times of collective suffering are virtually impossible to fathom. Buddhist teacher and eco-philosopher Joanna Macy says, "Our anguish is unprecedented. There used to be an assumption that life on this planet would go on, but that certainty is now lost. That loss is the pivotal psychological reality of our time." Contemplating our death or that of a loved one, or even the end of an era, is one thing. But now, individually and collectively, we are faced with the possible end of biological life as we know it. There has always been the reassuring thought that even if we die, the trees we love would endure, the lake would be there for our children's children to enjoy. Now we confront losses so sweeping that they are simply incomprehensible. It goes on. And it goes on beyond the incomprehensible suffering into many beautiful and uplifting dimensions, threading my own story through the teachings that have come to me along this path. And I will share more at another time. And you can keep the candles lit for the coming forth. Oh, thank you. So again, let's, as we have before, turn our attention to this precious time we've been given to be together, to practice together, and imagine that we have not just been sitting in our own home, but that we have entered a temple for this time, that we have created a sacred space that we have come into, and we have taken our seat, and we are giving over fully to the next hour and a half or so. And we are here to cultivate a practice that will facilitate our capacity to meet the moment we are living in, this unprecedented moment. And the most beautiful part about this practice, oh well, there's so many beautiful parts, but is just that we can have a time out from all that, to come back to ourselves, come back to our true self, as we say when we ring the bell. Listen, listen, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true self. And we take a breath. Every time we remember, we take a breath with awareness, and that awareness is our mindfulness. When we are aware of our breath, we are more mindful, more aware of what's happening as it is happening. So instead of being caught up in our plans or fears or anxieties about the future, or our excitement, or being caught by, what happened in the past that's still affecting us now, we're coming back to our true self in the present moment. And we're resting right here for the time that we sit and walk and sit and relate to each other. Because when we listen to each other sharing, we're also listening with all of our attention, giving each other our full presence. You know, we're not getting up and looking at our phone or getting up and doing this, that, the other. We've entered the temple, and that's where we are for ourselves and for each other and for Mother Earth. But that quality of time out, of resting, of relaxing, because when we go to meditate, it should be enjoyable or we won't do it. So to be comfortable, to be able to relax and open, this is a gift we give ourselves because we're mostly running or, as I say, caught up in either past or future. So this practice in the Tibetan tradition, we call mindfulness the practice of shamatha, or calm abiding. I'm sure I've said this many times because I love the term calm abiding. In order to survive the times of, what did I put down here later? I wrote down the times of chaos, confusion, systems collapse, illness, death. We're living in really unprecedented times with all of this weighing on us. And so to survive these times, to come back to just what's here, right now, and to abide in our calmness, to cultivate a practice together where we have out of it the clarity and the capacity to be in our responsiveness with a calm perspective, where we're relaxed in order to respond to whatever is arising and to see clearly. So this is something very, very precious. And we so often lose touch with it. We lose that thread. There's so many things trying to overwhelm us, that do overwhelm us. And we have to have compassion for ourselves when we lose the thread. And the group, the sangha, can be such a support, such an incredible support for not losing that thread. Because it's very, very hard when we're all on our own. And this is one of the great sorrows of our times, is the isolation that has resulted in, where we find ourselves. So for me, sangha, of the three jewels, the Buddha, the teacher, the Dharma, the teachings, and the sangha, or the community, sangha is really maybe the most important. And of course, Thich Nhat Hanh said, the next Buddha will be a sangha. It's such a powerful thing to contemplate. What is that? What does that mean? Sangha is also much harder than the Buddha or the Dharma, I think, because, we have to get along. We have to do this together. We have to apply the teachings to our relationships with each other, whether we like it or not. So this sangha business is why we're here too. to support each other on the path of awakening, the path of liberation, the path of understanding and compassion and love. So that we can make the changes that are called for in these unprecedented times, to wake up, to come together, to heal, to thrive, to embody the beauty of the web of life. So we become our own teacher in these times. You know, we don't look outside of ourselves anymore. We look to each other, you know, like we're just regular people, right? We're just here. We're not anybody special, but we all have Buddha nature. We all have that capacity to awaken, to see, to understand, to love, to have compassion, to be wise. And when we stop long enough to catch our breath and come back to our true self, we can get in touch with that wisdom, that innate wisdom, our own Buddha nature. And this is also why we practice. So then we don't have to look outside of ourselves. We just look within and we take another breath, and there it is. It's as simple as that. And this refuge that we have found in the practice, on the path, with a community, can keep us on the path. Because like, you know, any addiction, our society is really quite unhealthy. And we're addicted to it. We often don't know how to break that addiction, how to change, what to do. But I think this is a way, with a capital W, to go forward. So let's become Buddhas for each other. When we walk, you may remember me telling the story of the stickers in the shoes that Thich Nhat Hanh made us wear that say, "I walk for you." When we do the walking meditation, you know, imagine walking in such a way that lotuses blossom under our feet and bring peace to the world. And we walk for each other. And then we sit down and we breathe. And we are so present that we don't miss a moment. This precious human life that is within the context of the most beautiful web of life on earth. Let's not miss the opportunity to be in touch with that. For the benefit of all beings. Thank you.